Hey guys, so today's video is all about goal setting. And if you've worked with me before, or if you have set a goal, you've heard me talk about some of this stuff before. So first of all, let me start by saying that setting goals, yes, they are very important. And usually the busiest time of the year for setting goals is when? January 1st, New Year's Eve, everyone's going crazy. They're scrambling for the best goals that they can. They're sharing their goals with people. And usually the type of goals that people set are around their health, their job, and money. Those are usually the three most common New Year's resolutions that you have. And let me start by saying that New Year's resolutions are great and setting goals are great. And even if you're taking baby steps towards your goal, that's progress and that's success. However, the type of goals that you set really can set you up for success or set you up for failure. So you've all heard of SMART goals, or if you haven't, this is a quick intro to SMART goals. And I've been using SMART goals for years, not only for my clients, but for myself. And every time I use them, I've always thought that something has been missing. But the core of setting a SMART goal is really good. So let me just refresh your memory, or if you haven't heard of these, let me just kind of introduce you. So this is what you call an acronym for setting a SMART goal. So I'll go over them briefly now, and then I'll further explain a little later. So S stands for specific, M measurable, A attainable, R realistic, and T timely. So when you're setting goals, a lot of people suggest that you set SMART goals. And like I previously said, I felt that something was missing. So what I decided to do is I decided to adapt this acronym to give you some more extra tools that I use when I help my one-on-one clients set goals. And what I call it is set a smarter goal. So I added 3 letters to the equation. So the letter that I've added will be A for accountable, and then you still have your SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, and then the ER at the end is evaluate and reward. So let me just go over each each section briefly to explain why it's so important to make sure that these goals that you're setting are done in a way that sets you up for success. Okay, so A, accountability. It doesn't matter what type of accountability you have, but you need accountability to help you stay on track with your goals. Now, that could look like the visual tracker that I gave you, which you can find also in the same section as this video. It could be a visual tracker. It could be an accountability partner. It can be somebody, myself, or the group that you check in to share your goals with. So accountability will really look different for each person, or it could look the same. It's totally up to you. But as long as you have something or someone to help keep you accountable, then you're going to be more likely to achieve your goal. That's where the A comes from. A specific goal needs to be exactly that. It needs to be specific. Oftentimes, people set such vague goals that they're totally really, you have no idea what you're going for, right? So the goal is just something that it's very arbitrary. You're not quite sure what it means. So what I mean by that is, for example, most people set health goals for New Year's resolutions and different times of the year. So if you just say, I want to get healthy, how specific is that? What does that healthy look like for you? Does it mean you want to lose 20 pounds? Does it mean that you want to increase exercise 5 times a week? Your goal has to be specific, because if your goal is wishy-washy, your results and your actions towards achieving that goal and reaching that goal is going to be wishy-washy. The second letter, or the third letter, sorry, is M, measurable. And if you've noticed in the 2 examples I just gave you, I have actually given you guys a number associated with that goal. So you might want to decide that you're going to exercise 5 times a week. You're going to save $10 a day to put in towards a savings for your trip. You're going to choose to eat a vegetable with every meal. So that gives your goal a measurable tendency, so it's easier for you to achieve. If you just say, well, I want to exercise more, what does that look like? So give it a number, give it a way that you can actually measure it to see if you're on track with your goal or if you're off track with your goal. The next one, attainable. Now, before I go into this one, I want to say and be quite clear that I am really big on going big, going for what you want, going for scary goals. However, you need to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for failure and that your goal is not actually attainable. So for example, when I started writing my book, if I said I'm going to finish my book in a month, I am really working 2 jobs, I have a social life, I have other things, I have a family, that goal would not be attainable to write a book in 1 month, okay? So it doesn't mean that you delete your goal, it just means you might have to change the way that you are going to achieve the goal. It might mean that you might have to switch some things up. So you don't necessarily have to delete it, just means that you have to make sure that you're making it attainable. It can also mean that you're putting into bite-sized chunks to actually make that goal smaller. The next one is timely, which kind of goes in hand with realistic. You have to make sure that the timeline that you're setting for yourself is actually one that can be achieved. Oftentimes we underestimate how long it takes us to achieve a goal. So we say, you know what, I'm going to use weight, even though I don't usually like using this, but most people can relate to this. So if you say I want to lose 20 pounds by August the 1st, that's under some extreme conditions, right? So make sure that your timely and the measurable piece that you're putting onto it is actually something that's realistic, okay? And something that you can actually measure and something that you can actually achieve in the time frame that you're giving yourself. The next 2 that I added on, I think it's so important, is the E, which stands for evaluate. Oftentimes we set a goal and we stick to it, which is great, but evaluating your goals, revisiting your goals, which I do every Sunday, allows you the opportunity to see what's working for you, what's working against you, what are some challenges that you came across, and can really give you that opportunity to revisit the goals and fine-tune them and really make setting your goals more enjoyable. So that evaluation piece needs to be there because we have to keep evaluating our progress, evaluating what's working, what's not. And the last part, which I'm huge, huge, huge about, is reward. I always give myself a reward, and I'm going to share the reward that I just bought myself in the tribe this week. But the reward piece helps you re-engineer your brain and recondition your brain to make you excited about goals. There's something called goal fatigue. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but a lot of people get really burnt out going after goals. They set a goal, they reach it, then they go right to the next one, and there's no break in between, there's no celebration, there's no success happening in there, which makes it very challenging for you to want to continue on with reaching those goals, okay? So when you're setting goals, make sure you give yourself a reward, make sure to celebrate your successes, and it helps recondition your brain, it helps you get more excited about setting goals and achieving them. So just a quick recap. When you are going to set a goal, set a smarter goal. A, accountability, S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, T, timely, E, evaluate, R, your reward. This has helped me achieve so many of my personal goals, and it's helped so many of my one-on-one clients, and I hope it will help you in terms of reaching the goals that you want. As always, if you need more clarification and you want to talk anything out, you know where to find me. Have a great day, guys.